I was so sad when Bob sacrificed himself. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to cry about it, guys. All right, but in all seriousness, we have to talk about this because there was something that happened in a Percy Jackson related book that came out in 2023, and it was not called Chalice of the Gods. I think you know what I'm talking about. And something happened in that book that upset me to no end, and it continues to upset me to no end. So we know that in the House of Hades, when Bob and Damazin basically, they kind of sacrifice themselves, but they're going to come back eventually. But they basically sacrifice themselves to let Percy and Annabeth ride up the elevator / doors of death to the mortal world from Tartarus. Because somebody has to close the doors on both sides in order for them to be actually closed. So Bob and Damazin do it on the Tartarus side, and then I don't remember who does it on the mortal side. Maybe Leo, or maybe Percy and Annabeth just do it. I don't remember, guys. I'm sorry. I'm rereading the House of Hades right now, so I will soon figure it out. But before Bob and Damazin sacrifice themselves, Bob tells Percy and Annabeth, "Tell the sun and the stars hello for me." Because he hasn't seen the sun and the stars for so long. He's been in Hades. Like, first he got his mind washed in Hades in the River Lethe when Percy Jackson, basically shoved him into the river and washed his memory. And then he spent all his time in Hades in the underworld helping Hades the god be, he was a janitor. And then he goes into Tartarus to help Percy and Annabeth. So he hasn't seen the sun and the stars for a long time. So he's telling them, "Tell the sun and the stars hello for me," because he has a simple mind, right? Bob has a simple mind. He just wants Percy and Annabeth to tell these inanimate objects, the sun and the stars, hello for me. Here's the thing that makes me really, really upset. The book that came out last year was called The Sun and the Star, a Nico D'Angelo adventure story, or whatever the subtitle was, but it was called The Sun and the Star. The title being a reference to Will Shoelace being the sun and Nico D'Angelo being the star. First of all, it does make sense that Will would be referenced as a sun because he's the son of the sun god. Nico D'Angelo being referenced as a star doesn't make any sense whatsoever based on his godly parentage. I guess you can argue he's the star because a lot of people love his character more than any other character, so maybe that's why he's called the star, but it still is very shady. But here's my main issue with this title. Rick Riordan and that other author, Marco Shiro, tried to retroactively convince us that when Bob was saying, "Tell the sun and the stars hello for me," that he was actually referencing Will and Nico. That when Bob said those words in the House of Hades, that he was actually talking about Will Shoelace and Nico D'Angelo. There are many problems with this. First most being, he hadn't even met Will yet. He had not met Will yet. And Nico wasn't telling Bob about Will when he was visiting Bob in the underworld because Nico didn't even know Will yet. So there's no possible chance Bob could have known Will at this point when he tells Percy and Annabeth, "Tell the sun and the stars hello for me." Also, there's a slight issue that he says, "Tell the sun and the stars," plural. He says stars, plural. He doesn't say, "Tell the sun and the star hello for me." He says, "Tell the sun and the stars hello for me." So he can't even be talking about Nico when he says stars because he's saying stars, plural, not star, singular. Like I said, when the book The Sun and the Star came out last year, they tried, the two authors tried to retroactively convince us that when Bob said that, he was talking about Will and Nico back in the House of Hades, but he obviously wasn't. And that's why it makes me so freaking mad. I'll be the first to admit The Sun and the Star, it sounds like a cool title, honestly, it really does. Except for the fact that the sun is a star, so I'm not even gonna think about that. It's a cool title. But it's not a cool title when you try and convince us that it's referencing the two main characters of the book, because it absolutely is not. And the kicker is that when Will and Nico go to Tartarus in the Sun and the Star book to rescue Bob, Bob calls them the sun and the star. He literally calls them that. Bro, they're not the sun and the star. Bob literally has no reason to call them that. He was not referencing them as that in the House of Hades. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry for getting so mad, but I'm just fed up with this. This is truly one of the stupidest things in the entire Percy Jackson universe. I'm not joking.